So just as you have the triple constraint concept, various constraints of a project are impacted when a part is impacted. Remember triple constraints. We had a discussion of costs, which is the budget, the scope, and then the schedule of a project, such that we said when one is impacted, others are liable to also be affected. So you cannot increase the scope of a project without affecting the budget of the project or the schedule of the project. So perform integrated change control is all about analysis. You are analyzing the various constraints on a project for the impacts of what happens when another constraint is impacted. That is, when a part of the project is impacted, you want to know what is the implication of that impact on various other components of the project. So this process is about analysis of the knowledge areas impacted when one area encounters a change request. So it's the process of reviewing all change requests, approving or rejecting changes, and then managing changes to deliverables, managing changes to organizational assets, managing changes to project documents, and then the project management plan itself. And all of these things you are doing, you are communicating with the right people. You are carrying the right people along as you move. So integrated change control deals with analysis of other knowledge areas impacted when one knowledge area encounters a change request. It can include any of the following: determining that changes have occurred or they need to occur. It also includes influencing change requests so that only needed changes can occur, and then reviewing and approving change requests, and then monitoring and adjusting baselines as needed, of course, after you have gotten authorization. Then implementing the needed corrective actions and preventive actions, and then communicating status of the project regarding implemented changes. All of these things are just part of what you do when you are conducting your integrated change control. So what kind of problems can you encounter here? Just like the previous process, the problem you can encounter here is, a lot of surprise too. So problems in this area could result in undocumented, unapproved changes to the project, because by the time the change requests are not passed through the integrated change control system, what it means is that some changes will have been requested and probably been worked on, whereas it has not been approved or it has not been properly documented. And of course, the implication of that is a lot of chaos. Issues will be happening that the project manager did not factor in originally. So the problem could also come from one area being impacted and addressed, and other areas not discovered or addressed appropriately. This is a very smart one here. You realize the fact that integrated change control wants to review all the possible constraints, wants to review everywhere, to be able to have a good understanding that when these constraints, maybe time or costs or anyone, when it has been impacted, what is the implication on the other areas of the project? So if this is not done well, what it means is that there will be different areas of a project that are impacted by a change, and they will go undetected, and this is potential chaos on the project. So let's continue by discussing the change control board. What do we mean by the change control board? essentially there is a set of people who handle the change request and manage changes on the project. So the change control board could either be the sponsor himself alone, or the sponsor could involve a number of other people. In fact, the sponsor can delegate it to a set of people that they should handle all matters of approving or rejecting changes on the project. So they are responsible for reviewing and analyzing change requests in accordance to the project management plan. Note, in accordance to the project management plan. It may include the sponsor, definitely, project manager, functional managers, or technical consultants, or other members. So this is like a workflow for us to understand the change control process. When a change request is received, starting from the left here, when a change request is received, it has to be logged. At least it has to be documented somewhere that a change request was received. The project manager has to input it somewhere. So the project manager and the team, they try to understand the change. What exactly is this change about? Then you analyze for impact. Remember, the core purpose of integrated change control is that you want to understand the impact of that change on the overall project and on the various constraints on the project. So then you evaluate the change. You submit the change request to the change control board for them to evaluate the change request. So at this point in time, the change control board can either approve or deny. If they approve it, beautiful. If they deny it, okay, fine, it's rejected. You go back, you go and update the issue, the log of changes, your change log. You go and update it to say, okay, this change was updated, was submitted at this date, it was submitted for approval at this date, and this is the status, it has been rejected. So if it was approved, beautiful. You go ahead and see how you can incorporate it into your execution plan. You go ahead and see how you can incorporate it into how you would implement and execute on the project. You schedule, you incorporate the implementation of it into the schedule, and you go ahead and start working on it. Beautiful. So if you are not able to get it scheduled, probably means that you just have to drop it. If you can get it scheduled, beautiful. Then you go back into your planning, and then you incorporate it into the plan. You integrate it into the project. Then of course you now implement, deliver it up together with the project. So that is a rough workflow for integrated change control.